It was groundbreaking for our relationship. And I think we both felt it at that time. And so necessary. And so as uncomfortable as that was, if I hadn't have acknowledged my true feelings, let myself know that you're really wrong, correct that, because it does me no good if I know I'm wrong and I can't apologize. And I do mean sincerely apologize. Because I can tell someone, even though I felt like I was wrong, I wasn't taking accountability for me being wrong. And so, yeah, this was groundbreaking for me. Hey, loves. You know what? We have come to the end of this challenge, almost. This is week 3. This is an update for week 3 of the Spiritual Intelligence Challenge. And it just got better. You know, I keep saying every week, I don't know if I'm going to continue to grow, and I don't know how this week is going to be top, but it was, right? So anyway, just a quick recap. You know, I'm on my self-development journey. I've been doing this well before I started the series, but I'm just bringing you in because it's good. I believe it's going to be helpful for others and not just myself, and that's what this is truly about. And so this is a spiritual intelligence, 28-day spiritual intelligence challenge. And this challenge was all about increasing my spiritual intelligence, becoming better in that area. And week 1 was about first acknowledging what my triggers are, the things, the people, the situations that can, where I can react in a way that I don't like later, right? And I end up acting out of character. And so that was week 1, first acknowledging what those triggers are. And then 2, what's the source of the trigger? Like, why are they triggers? Not the surface level, oh, they just make me upset, but what is the core reason as to why they make me so upset? Or I'm in a situation at my job and this is really bothering me. Like, what is the core reason so that you can actually work on that? And then, still in week 1, creating a plan for managing when I'm in that situation or when those triggers arise. What am I going to do to respond differently than what I have done? And so we have a plan for the week. We have to-do lists for the week to help our week go by, to make sure that we get things done. We have a plan for our budgets. We have a plan for, you know, all kind of things in our life. So why not have a plan, an emotional plan for when you're put in situations where you know you can go left. I think that's pretty smart to have a plan on what you're going to do differently until you can get to a point where you no longer need that plan and that behavior, you no longer respond in a way that you used to, because you've grown, right? You've grown emotionally, you've grown spiritually, so you no longer have that urge to react in the same way. It's like growing older. We don't react like we used to back in the day because we're older, we're a little bit more mature. Well, the same thing with this. And so that was week 1. Really, really great week, because although I knew some of the things that were triggers for me, I acknowledged that some other things are triggers that I didn't even know, right? And so week 2 was all about fasting. And fasting is difficult, but for me it's very necessary, and it is becoming just a way of life for me. The first time that I truly fast was last September, a few months ago, and it was revolutionary. It was revolutionary. If you didn't go back and see that last video, make sure that you check that out. It is week 2. But I was suffering from some ailments with my body, and I was going to doctors trying to find a resolution. And I started praying for holistic ways I didn't want to take medications day in and day out for the rest of my life to manage things. And I come from a spiritual background, and so I'm not a stranger to fasting. I have done intermittent fasting as well, but I truly just took things away. And for me, I did a complete fast where I drank water and natural juice, which was apple juice for me, for 7 days. And it was the most difficult thing that I had done. But it took away body ailments for me. I no longer suffer from what I was suffering from. And beyond that, the self-control that comes along with that is immeasurable. So the benefits that come along with the fasting, I believe I just want to continue to sustain throughout. And so yeah, that was been extremely revolutionary. And so week 2 was about fasting. I fast for 6 days. Again, water and apple juice. And so it was really just time with my Creator. It was time to practice that self-control. And so yeah, I mean, it was great, right? Week 3 is about this week, was all about acknowledging my feelings and being very honest with myself about my feelings, and to others, because many times I sit on my feelings, and when something happens or something bothers me at the moment, I just, unless it's extreme, unless it's my babies or something like that, I usually just say it's not a big deal when really it is, and I sit on it, and then time will go by and those feelings build up, and then I respond in a way that I'm just not happy that I did later, right? Respond out of character. And so it was all about acknowledging how I feel at this moment, being honest with me, and that is uncomfortable because sometimes you realize how wrong you are, and also being honest with everybody else. But this was so groundbreaking because I actually had to use it this particular week. And just to kind of give you an example of what I mean when I say use it, I'm having a conversation with someone that I care deeply about, and they're telling me now, background on this relationship, again, I care and I love for them deeply, but the relationship is a little damaged. We've had some triumphs, and so we're working on those triumphs, right? And so they let me know that they've made a decision for the better, to do something for themselves, to make them better. And this was my response. My response to them was, and I'm already kind of heated on the call anyway, okay? And so my response was, well, I'm glad for you. I'm glad you make that decision if that's what you think is best for you. But I remember when I came to you and said I was making this same decision, and I didn't feel supported, and you undermined where I was in that journey because it was such a short time. And needless to say, that conversation didn't end well. Other things were talked about and discussed during that conversation, but it didn't end well. But I gotta tell you, as soon as I got off, because I was in my feelings, as soon as I got off that call, my conviction just weighed in. My soul talked to me immediately. I know better. And I went through all the weeks, right, of this challenge. I acknowledged this person, this incident is a trigger. I acknowledged why this is a trigger, because I didn't feel supported by this individual, which I believe I should have. And then my plan, I didn't succeed in that plan, right? So anyway, I'm feeling so much conviction. I know I was wrong in how I responded, and why my spirit just told me, you don't treat other people like you were treated, right? Just because you don't feel like you were supported, that doesn't mean you don't support. That doesn't mean you do the same thing or you make them feel how you felt. That was me being honest with me. You're wrong, Sheila. You got to fix that, right? So I had to acknowledge how wrong I was, even though I felt like I was wronged. I had to acknowledge that I have to handle this differently, because you know how it feels. Why would you want them to feel this way? And literally within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, I had to correct that, and I had to make that conversation better. I had to apologize. I had to say how wrong I was, not just in that particular incident, but in previous incidents, because I realized how many times I've done that and how negatively it affected our relationship. And because I was protecting me, I was still damaging that relationship. And so it was groundbreaking because we were both we were both in a posture once we had that conversation of hearing the other person. Like, no one felt like we had to talk over the other person and say, well, oh, I did this because of that. Didn't happen. Our posture was, we were in a receiving posture, which is very important. And it was groundbreaking for our relationship. And I think we both felt it at that time. And so necessary. And so as uncomfortable as that was, if I hadn't have acknowledged my true feelings, let myself know that you're really wrong, correct that, because it does me no good if I know I'm wrong and I can't apologize. And I do mean sincerely apologize, because I can tell someone, even though I felt like I was wrong, I wasn't taking accountability for me being wrong. And so, yeah, this was groundbreaking for me. And I'm glad I took that uncomfortable moment and did something with it. So, yeah, another great week, another week of growth, which is what this is all about. Well past the 28 days, I want to continue to use this model every day of my life just to be better, right? And the last week is coming up on just reflection, right? Reflection, and just making sure it's about reflecting over the last month, continuing to use the same model, and yeah, so I'm excited about it. Make sure that you stay tuned for that video as well. It's going to be coming up in the next 6 days or less, because I'm actively in that as we speak. And as always, I want to hear from you. Like, I want to hear about your journey. A couple of you are so wonderful about sharing that for me, and it means everything. It's another way for me to stay accountable and to do my best. So I appreciate you so much. Whatever journey that may be, it could be physical, trying to improve how you look, how you feel, your health, your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, whatever that is. I want to hear from you, okay? Make sure you leave those comments, questions below. If you have not subscribed, yeah, go ahead and make my day. Hit that subscribe button so every time I fall through, you can tap in. And I appreciate you, truly. I appreciate you. And until the next time, be kind, be a blessing to someone else, your new families. Stay blessed as well. Shiva signing off. Bye-bye.